just jump on in. We're happy to have you here. We're excited to hear your comments and your opinions on the allocation plan that was published. As most of you know, in September of 2021, HUD announced the American Rescue Plan that Arkansas would receive $37.5 million. And in order to receive that, we had to prepare an allocation plan. And that would include an outline of the consultation and public participation processes undertaken. Many of you were also involved in the early surveys and community meetings that we held. Also, an assessment of needs and qualifying populations and gaps in local housing and service systems, and the planned uses of HOME-ARP funds for prioritized populations and eligible activities. And we conducted several of those community meetings in April, one-on-one interviews, and surveyed the stakeholders, which many of you here today would be. Information obtained from these interactions allow ACTA to determine what eligible activities should prioritize the use of HOME-ARP funds, addressing the greatest need to serve qualifying populations. As you will see, we will be offering 3 eligible activities. The third one is sort of separated into 2, but we will be doing development and acquisition of non-congregate shelter, supportive services, nonprofit operational and capacity building assistance also. And you can see how we've broken this down. We're going to spend the greater portion of this, 55% on NCS, acquisition and development, 20% will be supportive services, 10% collectively will be on the operational and capacity building, and the remaining 15%, of course, will be for administrative costs. This is just another breakdown that will show you a little better how the money is divided out. And this is our proposed plan. One thing that is different about HOME-ARP is you're not going to be looking at income for a basis of qualifying, but more importantly, qualifying populations. And they would need to be homeless, at risk of homelessness, fleeing or attempting to flee domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, or human trafficking. There are a few more specific definitions for other populations, veterans and their families. And again, all of these are found in section 4A of the HOME-ARP notice, CPD 2110, for more specifics on that. The NCS acquisition and development eligible activity, the eligible costs will be acquisition, demolition, development hard costs, site improvements, related soft costs, replacement reserves, and prohibited costs will be operating costs of NCS. Conversion costs, reimbursement of acquisition costs prior to commitment, and of course, delinquent taxes, fees, or charges. And also, we are going to restrict this to cannot exceed more than $8 million per application on NCS. We will also be funding supportive services. You will find those definitions again on CPD 2110, and those are reflected from the McKinney-Vento supportive services, the homeless prevention services, and the housing counseling services of McKinney-Vento Act, and of course 24 CFR 576 gets a little more specific on that also. The prohibited costs will be counseling that is resolving or preventing mortgage delinquency, and we will require reporting of quarterly financial reports to ACTA on those who receive supportive services awards. And these applications cannot exceed more than 1 million for supportive services. And this is just a little more of a quick breakdown on the supportive services that can be offered and funded through HOME-ARP supportive services. Educational services, employment assistance and job training, food, housing search and counseling services, legal services, life skills training, mental health services, outpatient health services, outreach services, substance abuse treatment services, transportation, case management, mediation, credit repair, landlord and tenant liaison. And again, these are more aptly defined in the homeless prevention services with under 24 CFR 576. And you will see them reflected also in the McKinney-Vento supportive services definitions. Housing counseling services, HUD rental and rent subsidy programs, fair housing, rental search assistance, and rent delinquency. These are the specific counseling services for housing that will be eligible activities or eligible costs. These are some additional supportive services. You will see services for special populations, financial assistance costs, which include rental application fees, security deposits, utility payments, moving costs, first and last month's rent, payment of rental arrears, and short-term and medium-term financial assistance for rent.
Since
Did I miss a comment?
answered my question. So no actual funds provided for direct rent and utility assistance, question mark.
I think it is.
Yeah.
If you'll take that off, I can show it.
Yes.
No, you can provide utility deposits, utility payments, and I believe this is payment of rental arrears, first and last month's rent.
And then short-term and medium-term.
Yeah, short-term and short-term and medium-term rental assistance. So you can basically get them established in rental housing and give them assistance for that. And I'm sorry, did you have a comment?
Yeah, so the utility payments, that's, yeah, both deposits and if they're,
Yes. Utility payments. Because we want to get them in, in the apartments, okay? Nonprofit operational assistance, again, is also an eligible cost. And this is regarding, so if a nonprofit is serving a qualified population, even if they are not offering supportive services through HOME-ARP or NCS through HOME-ARP, they can still apply for nonprofit operational assistance. Because they are serving that qualified population as defined in CPD 2110. And the eligible costs would be salaries, wages, compensation, and benefits of employees, employee training and staff development, equipment and supply upgrades, technical assistance contracts also. The limitation to this is in any fiscal year, assistance may not exceed the greater of 50% of the operational expenses or $50,000. So this is a great opportunity for many of you. The next eligible activity is kind of a little more specific. Nonprofit capacity building assistance. This is available for those of you who will also be offering NCS and or supportive services. Again, you must expect to provide another ARP eligible activity within 24 months, which would be, of course, supportive services or development acquisition of NCS. Those eligible costs are salaries, wages, compensation, and benefits for new hires because you're, expanding your capacity to meet the needs of the qualifying population. employee training, development to enhance skill set for services of new ARP activities, equipment such as computers to improve organizational processes, upgrades to materials, equipment supplies, contracts for technical assistance, assistance and expertise of HOME-ARP qualifying populations. And it is not listed here, but we are going to also require quarterly financial information to be sent into ADFA for this funding also. The limitation on this assistance in any fiscal year, assistance may not exceed the greater of 50% of your operational expenses or $50,000. Now, if you are going to apply for both, organization receives both operating assistance and capacity building assistance in any fiscal year, the aggregate total amount of assistance it may receive is the greater of 50% of the organization's total operating expenses for that fiscal year, or $75,000. And again, if you're going to have both, you must expect to provide another ARP eligible activity within 24 months, which would either be supportive services or development and acquisition of HOME-ARP NCS. That is just a quick breakdown of the plan. Any written comments, we request that you please email those to Lori Brockway at arkansas.gov. And again, Ms. Brockway is the Federal Housing Programs Manager here at ADFA. And also you may mail those in to Lori Brockway, 1 Commerce Way, Suite 602, Little Rock, Arkansas 72202. And that needs to be sent in before the deadline, which is September 6th, yes, at 4:30 p.m. And we are now happy to hear any of your comments or opinions. If you would, you're welcome to speak or let us know that you would like to speak.
Oh, no, sorry, those slides are over.
Yes, yeah. You can send an email to Lori.
Okay.
And I can get those to you. Any other comments? You may raise your hand, use the hand option if you have a comment to speak. And just to remind you that the HUD rules regarding this plan are found on the HUD Exchange. It is CPD 2110. We hope to have some guidelines soon finalized that we would put up for you also. So regarding the actual HOME-ARP plan, do we have any comments?
Here is one. Are men and women being released from incarceration from jails and prisons qualify for the housing portion? Are they a qualifying group?
If they are considered homeless, yes, because they will be, and that is a specific, it's more specific in the definitions of the CP 2110, but yes.
Will ADFA consider waivers from the limits in the plan?
I think it would have, yeah, you can send that question to us via email, and or mail it in, and we'll get you a more specific answer on that. At this time, we're only taking comments. Sorry. Are there any other comments?
So an organization can apply for those different areas that were mentioned in the slides, the capacity building operation.
Yes, basically everything that's in the allocation plan itself that you see in there. I think I can get you one of the,
Okay.
I think it's on the links, but all of the eligible activities that are in our allocation plan, you can apply for.
Can you explain why you are not building housing with these funds? That was by far the most request need in your report.
And again, we will welcome that question via email. We're just taking comments.
I'm sorry. This is Representative Ferguson. I'm on the phone. I'm not sure how to ask a question. Do faith-based organizations qualify for homeless money?
Yes, they should. If they're a nonprofit, I think the only stipulation that would be in federal rules.
And again, we welcome questions via email, and this is just a public comment period at this time.
So what's public comment?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
That's what is public comment.
Public comment basically is an opinion on the plan itself that was published. If you have an opinion, you're free to speak that opinion, because we want to consider your opinions in the final plan that will be presented to HUD.
This is Derek Rose. So this is an opportunity for you to express your concerns for or against any part of the plan, and have it recorded to be considered for possible changes in the future.
Am I correct that all comments will go before the legislative council? When this program is approved, most of those issues do go before the legislature. You know, all public comments are listed out in what we did.
I know that it's recorded, and ACTA will publish the plan. It will be part of, all of these comments will be part of the final plan that we submit, and it will be published.
Is the final plan approved by the legislature?
I don't believe so. HUD approves the
Oh,
plan.
okay.
HUD approves that plan.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is a comment by Jessica Minton. Please consider and use a significant portion of the funds to support development of affordable, defined as rents between 90 and 110% of HUD's FMR for an area, and low barrier, defined as open to accepting tenants with poor credit history of legal involvement, previous evictions, and little or no income. Housing that is decent, defined as able to pass a minimum housing quality standard HUD inspection, and for affordable, decent, safe, affordable housing for special needs populations.
What?
By your own report, these combined are by
Listen to this.
far the largest need expressed by stakeholders. The projects for affordable housing already in the pipeline, to my knowledge, are not targeted for homeless individuals, not likely to be the kind of low barrier units needed, and will not be sufficient to meet the demand.
Thank you. We have your comment on record, and we will take it into consideration.
The next one. My opinion is that we need the development of permanent and affordable housing, as this is the biggest need for the homeless individuals we serve. This also must be low barrier to allow access to the population of veterans we serve. My opinion is that although shelter funding is great, but we have no affordable housing to place these individuals in.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments?
Casey Kleinheinz has a question. Casey, you're welcome to speak.
Hey, thank you. This is Casey Kleinhens at Community Development Corporation for Bentonville. I want to say I support the plan, and I guess I'm eager to, it's very innovative, and I'm curious to see the guidance on the supportive services funding, within the new construction development projects. I think it's pretty innovative. We're, kind of combining a real estate operating budget and a services operating budget. I'd really just like to see the state do as much as possible to be sure developers like us are making sustainable projects.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
After public comment, what is the next step? Will we be able to ask further questions?
You can ask questions now. We just ask that you send them in writing, please, via email to Lori Brockway at arkansas.gov, and that is LORI.Brockway, BROCKWAY at arkansas.gov, and or you can mail those into ADFA. And the address should be up there. Is it on the screen? But it would be probably easier for you just to email those if you could, but you're welcome to also mail them to 1 Commerce Way, Suite 602, Little Rock, 72202. And again, that needs to be to the attention of Lori Brockway. So you can send questions in at any time and we can respond to those. At this point, we're just taking comments right now. It looks like someone else has a comment. Mr. Birchfield? Mr. Birchfield, you can speak, please.
Yes, thank you. Let's just get my mute off. I am Solomon Birchfield. I'm the director of the New Beginnings Shelter Community in Fayetteville. We provide non-congregate shelter for folks who've been chronically unsheltered. I wanted to just affirm by comment some of the provisions supporting staff training, operational costs, capacity building. I was really pleased to see that included in this plan. And then offer a further comment that I do wish that we could increase the percentage of funds available more towards permanent housing rather than just non-congregate shelter. Shelter is a really life-affirming intervention. And so I recognize the priority across our state to be able to offer that to scale for the number of people that need to access that shelter. But being someone that leads a shelter community, I also see the real barrier in helping folks move out from shelter into housing that's affordable, housing that comes with support services, so someone could stabilize in that housing. Many chronically homeless people really do have ongoing support needs. And so I would love to encourage you all to consider just increasing the percentage of the allocation that could be made available to housing projects that can provide permanent housing for chronically homeless folks with ongoing support needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that might have a comment? And I just want to reiterate that we truly do appreciate your attendance today and your comments and your opinions. And just encourage you with any questions to email those into Lori, if you would please, Lori Brockway. And we will continue to hold to see if anyone else has any more comments. Sorry, comments. And again, I would encourage you to review the plan again and just look at what your organization may be interested in applying for. We really look forward to hearing from you.
If there be no further questions, we will close the public hearing. Thank you all.
Thank you.